Crawford will be looking to take this one to the green. He's got a lap car not too far up the road that just completed the wave around, but the green flag is out. 5 minutes to go from the Red Bull ring.
Crawford stretches out that gap a good bit over Chris right down the front straightaway, going down into turn number 1, trying to get nice and heavy on the brakes, nice and late, trying to get a good apex coming through the corner. Nice run down the straightaway, down into turn number 2, nice and orderly all throughout the field, it seems so far. All the way through P20 towards the back of the pack, getting through turn 1 very nicely, getting down to turn 2, our race leader Alex Crawford pulling out that gap just a little bit over Chris Bright, who is under fire from Alexander Hammonds.
Trying to pull that gap out, but for now, Crawford is looking like he is starting to run away with this thing, and he could very well be the favorite to win and take his second win of season number 6. Looking back to Clank and Smith, they're scrapping for the last spot inside the top 10. As Alexander Clank takes it to the inside of Kyle Smith. Way out wide will go Castro, but the 013 still clinging on to that top 10 position, but only just.
Yeah, Alexander Clank holding on to it, trying to get past Chris Hannigan here for P9. Hannigan trying to recover from that issue earlier from the race lead, but he's under fire from Clank, who dives it in deep into turn number 1. There's going to be contact on the apex of the corner. Chris Hannigan's going to lose out to Alexander Clank with a crazy late dive bomb move into the corner. And now we've got Smith in the 549 coming up, trying to challenge for that 10th place spot on Chris Hannigan.
A lot of jockeying around just outside the top 10 as well, as Bueller, Freed, and Barrett are all under a blanket. It's getting aggressive here in the closing laps, but so far it has been very orderly. No crashes so far since the restart. I think this is the longest period we've actually gone all race without having a car facing backwards.
And ironic that it's at the very end of the race whenever they should be driving the absolute craziest. A little bit of door contact there through the penultimate corner. I believe that was Dupuis peeling off the racetrack down onto pit road into 703, having it come down, take a pit stop at the end of this thing. Has to be a black flag issue or something. I don't know why it would be coming down this late from the top 20, but Alexander Crawford stretching out that gap a little bit. Hammonds trying to get past Chris Bright down into turn 2. Bright goes defensive, holds on to the position through the long sweeping right-hander and into the S's. Looks like he's going to hold on to that second place spot, but they are losing ground to Alex Crawford in the lead.
Lefebvre is going to be bopped as we've got a bit of a traffic jam coming through turn number 1. They were 3Y, Mailhot, LeBlanc, and Clayton all getting into it with one another. Take a look at this one working down into the opening corner. Bit of door-to-door contact, spins a few of them around. 42 takes it out wide, and other than that, they reset, get it back rolling.
And that ends our no wreck streak. We have now seen it. Oh, Clank gets into the side of Morton here through turn number 6. Chris Hannigan gets past both of them after he had lost out to Clank not too long ago. Move Hannigan up to P8. Now they're side by side for P9. Alexander Clank, Barrett, Morton down into turn number 1. It's going to be Clank that wins out in the end for that position. Barrett Morton just trying to hold on from Eric Runenberg, who takes P11 away from Alexander Bueller.
2 minutes to go. Brooker has been given a stop and go now for incident points. That is the second stage, right? It's a drive to the first and a stop and go for every time after. And I think the initial threshold is a 30x, and then every 10x after that, that is when you get the stop and go. So Brooker getting his second penalty of the afternoon. 3 wide in the mad scramble down into turn number 5, and it will be looking like the 7 of Corey Barrett taking the wise move there to back out.
Yeah, Barrett backing out, just trying not to get involved in an accident at the end of this thing. Try to get as many points as you can coming to the end, but don't screw yourself and give up a ton of them on the back end. Trying to look now to the inside here, coming down to turn 1. Doesn't quite have the run, doesn't really have any overlap getting down to the corner, but he's going to dive it in late anyway. Try to take the position away from Tyler Agostino in that 44. Corey Barrett side by side with the 44 coming out.
And just behind, Barrett will slide back to the inside. Tyler Agostino drifts that back end out, but Agostino not, well, he's going to use that patience there to not run into the back of him as he made that pass work. Meanwhile, Alex Crawford through the final corner. He will start his final trip around.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a gap here to Chris Bright, a little over a second, but he's got a bit of lap traffic to deal with, and that's a teammate of Chris Bright. Doesn't really get out of the way, runs right on the racing line, getting down into turn number 1. Gonna make Alex Crawford fight for the position, but not too much. A little bit of respect there from the 14, just getting out of the way enough to not really upset Cofford too much, but it does give Chris Bright an opportunity. Shallowed up, Alex Cofford's exit out of turn number 1, cuts that gap in about half.
Josh Freed got a drive-through penalty, but with only 1 lap to go, he decided it wasn't worth it. Ended up just stopping and taking the code to pit road. He'll be a DNF on the afternoon. Meanwhile, for Cofford, he's gotten a lot of podiums, only 1 in the win column though. He'll make that 2 as he dives through turn 5. Chris Bright trying to run down the gap, half a second still remains. It is too little, too late, and Alex Cofford wins in Austria.
Still racing hard to the line, a little bit further back in the pack. Clank trying to take a position away from Adam Jackson in the 97. That's that P7 position, not quite able to do it. A little bit further back, multiple drivers still side by side. Brooker side by side with the 51. Brooker's going to win that fight out, coming to the line for the 20th place position. Then even further back into the penultimate corner, we still got people getting drive-through penalties. My goodness. Hannigan already crossed the line though, so I don't think that one's going to count, but I think I noticed another driver got one here on the last lap. Oh, a little bit of contact through the last corner, man. Fighting for about the P30 position. Oh, Dupuis gets turned by the 31 coming to the line.
Well, Dupuis sent it in. The 31 of the Colgan was not too happy about that and tried to repay the favor as they came across the start-finish line. And